relationship with our mother one of the most significant and impactful relationships we'll ever have. It shapes who we are, how we see ourselves, and even how we show up in the world. But what happens when the relationship isn't fully supportive, when there are needs that go unmet, or when the bonds feel broken in some way? We've all had moments of frustration where we've been hard on ourselves. So not too recently, I was talking with a friend who was feeling frustrated. She went ahead and just called herself stupid while laughing it off. I asked her, would you call your child stupid if you were frustrated? She immediately said no. I then pointed out that if you're speaking to yourself this way, you're essentially neglecting your inner child. It's a powerful reminder that how we talk to ourselves matters deeply. If you treated yourself how you would treat your own child, imagine the impact that that could make on your self-esteem and mental well-being. In this video, I'll walk you through how to show up for yourself with kindness and understanding, and how to break free from those negative patterns that hold you back, that you may have picked up whether you felt neglected, misunderstood, or unsupported by your mother. You might be carrying the weight of those unhealed wounds. Plus, I'll share some easy habits you can start today to parent your inner child and begin reprogramming your mindset for success. If you're ready to heal, start a new chapter of self-care, self-compassion, grab your notes, hit the like button, and subscribe if you haven't done so, and save this video for later so you can refer back to these powerful habits anytime. I'll leave the timestamps right over here for you. What you'll learn in this video is why parenting yourself is key to unlocking your confidence, how to shift your inner dialogue and treat yourself with more compassion, simple, practical habits you can implement every single day, how to create a mindset that encourages growth and self-love. Let's get into it. So first things first, creating a routine for yourself is a game changer. So think about it. What do all children have in common? Routines. They wake up, go to school, come home, do homework, and follow a nighttime routine. It's disciplined and it sets them up for success. Now, as we get older, especially in like our adolescence, we lose that structure unless we create it ourselves. And honestly, most of us struggle without it. And I've mentioned this before, our brains crave familiarity because it makes us feel safe and in control. That's why routines give us comfort. Without one, we feel lost and scattered. So have you ever woke up with no plan and you're just floating through the day? I know I have, and it drives me insane. Now imagine being a parent to your inner child. But if you have a child, you'd make sure they'd have a routine. You're not just gonna let them go to sleep at any time that they want, because you want to help them follow that routine to help them thrive, right? Apply that same mindset to yourself. So what's your morning routine? What are your goals for the day, for the week? When you establish a consistent routine, it eventually becomes a habit, almost like brushing your teeth. You will never forget to do that. Your body will do it without even thinking about it. We all have routines, even if it's the habit of waking up and mindlessly scrolling through your phone first thing in the morning. But the good news is that you can change your routine. Start small, like waking up and meditating for 10 to 15 minutes every single morning. And over time, it becomes a part of your routine. It becomes a habit. Your brain will adapt to it, and suddenly you'll become a person who's meditating daily without even thinking about it. For me, I started waking up and meditating 10 to 15 minutes, and it felt daunting because I would think like, what am I doing for 10 to 15 minutes? Like, I can't sit with my thoughts for 10 to 15 minutes, but eventually pushing myself and just getting through it, slowly starting with increments of 5 minutes, I eventually adapted to that habit and it became a part of my routine, and I don't even think about it. And honestly, it has now become one of my favorite things to do. And I can tell you it was very hard for me in the beginning. I also try to keep other things simple, like eating the same foods daily, so I don't have to overthink about what to eat. It's all about freeing up mental space to focus on my goals. This can also be applied to clothing. This shirt here, I probably have it in 5 different colors. Seeing what silhouettes fit best for your body and just having them available in multiple colors. So let's talk about something super important. Caring for both your inner and outer appearance. So imagine having a child. Would you let them go outside with dirty clothes, not showered, without brushing their teeth, without brushing their hair, very ungroomed? Of course not. That would be neglectful parenting. Now, if you're not taking care of yourself in the same way, why are you letting yourself walk out like that? Caring about your appearance is not about being self-centered or vanity. It's about self-respect. When you look put together, it shows that you respect yourself, and it sets the tone for how others will treat you. Yes, personality matters, but when someone first sees you, they're not meeting your personality. They're seeing your appearance first. So think about it. When you look in the mirror and feel good about how you look, you immediately feel more confident, empowered, and ready to take on the world. Just like how you would care about what your child eats, how they look, or what kind of environment they're in, apply that same level of care for yourself. Would you ever send your kid off to school without ensuring that they feel good in the clothing that they're in? And it's the same with you. Dressing in clothes that make you feel confident, making sure that you're clean, and grooming yourself is not just about making yourself look good for others. It's about how you show up for yourself. When you take the time to care for yourself, it reinforces that you are worthy of love and respect, not only from others, but from yourself too. So I want to share something personal with you. I found that when I take the time to get ready in the morning, even if I don't have a full day planned, I feel more in control. I don't have to step outside. I don't have to be in a business meeting or anything like that, but just simply getting ready, maybe doing my eyebrows, putting a little bit of chapstick on, even something as simple as that, and maybe just concealer, like it just sets the tone for the day. I'm not just throwing on anything. I'm intentionally choosing clothing that makes me feel like the best version of myself. When I feel good in what I wear, my energy shifts. I walk taller, more confident, and I'm more likely to tackle the day with a positive attitude. So let's talk about how this ties into self-care. Self-care isn't just about pampering yourself with a face mask or massages, which those are nice too, but it's about making a decision to prioritize yourself in every area of your life. This includes caring for your appearance, when you dress well, nourish your body with good food, and practicing good hygiene. It's an act of honoring who you are. It's a reflection of how much you value yourself and how much you believe that you deserve the best. Remember, self-care starts from within, but it also shows through the way you present yourself out in the world. When you feel good about how you look, it translates in how you feel and how you interact with others. You become more positive, more approachable, and more open to opportunities because you radiate the confidence. So let's talk about the importance of a clean space. Your environment plays a huge role in how you feel, think, and work. Now, let's go back to your imaginary child. Would you let them grow up in a messy environment? Cluttered space where the energy just feels heavy and chaotic? Of course not. You'd want their room to be cleaned, organized, and calming. A place where they can thrive, feel safe, and focus. You'd make sure that the space is free from distractions, enabling them to relax or play with peace of mind. Now, let's turn that focus back to you. When your space is cluttered, it's not just an eyesore. It's holding on to stuck energy. Every item that you leave laying around, every sack of paper or dish that hasn't been put away is like a mental weight. That mess has energy attached to it. It accumulates in a way that can drain your focus, creativity, and even your motivation. You may notice that when you come home to a disorganized space, it can feel overwhelming. Like there's no room for you to truly relax or be productive. That's because your environment is constantly sending you signals that things are not in order, and your mind picks up on things like that, whether you realize it or not. Just think about how different it would feel to just walk into a clean, fresh, and organized space. It feels inviting, calm, peaceful. You can breathe easier, focus better, and instantly feel more at ease. That's why having a clean space isn't just about having the space look nice. It's about creating an environment that supports your mental health and emotional well-being. It gives you a space to think clearly and intentionally. It's like setting the stage for a productive day. And even better, it helps create an energy of abundance and flow in your life. And it's not just your home. Your workspace matters too. Like, have you ever tried to work in a cluttered space? Maybe you've sat down to tackle the project only to get distracted by the mess that's around you. You can't think clearly because the clutter is pulling your attention in a million directions. A clean, organized workspace allows you to feel more focused, more productive, more at ease while you're working. It's like you've cleared your mental and physical space to do your best work. There are days where I've had a busy schedule and my space starts to feel messy. It's like the clutter happens naturally when I'm too focused on other things. But the moment that I take the time to tidy up, something shifts in me. Suddenly I feel more in control, more energized, and more ready to dive into my work. I've realized that my physical environment has a huge impact on my emotional state. So when my space is clean, I'm more productive and I feel more confident in what I'm doing. It's important to remember that a clean space is directly linked to the level of respect you have for yourself. Would you let your child live in an environment that made them feel chaotic or unsafe? Of course not. The same goes for you. A clean, organized space shows that you respect yourself enough to create an environment that nurtures your success and peace of mind. When you honor your space, you honor your energy, and ultimately you honor your life's work. Now, something else that I struggled with for a long time was going outside and socializing. Growing up, I really wasn't allowed to have friends over or be at friends' houses or just being out with friends. I was pretty isolated, and whenever I wanted to hang out with my friends, I had to lie about it and say it was a school project just to get permission, or purposely join clubs at school or sports in school just so I can have the opportunity to be with friends. And this behavior followed me into adulthood. As I got older, I found myself isolating myself, staying home most days, and not really engaging with other people. Even now, my current work is online. I didn't have to socialize as much, and I realized that this is not healthy for my inner child. In fact, I'm being a neglectful parent to myself because I didn't get to experience going out and socializing as a child. And then as an adult, I started limiting myself by staying in my comfort zone until I had a child and was forced to step outside because I wanted my child to explore outside. When you don't allow yourself to experience the world and engage with others, you're robbing yourself of key opportunities for growth and happiness. Would you keep your child locked away forever until it was time for them to leave the nest? Of course not. You want to take them to the park, you want to take them for ice cream, you want to take them to museums and art studios, fun places to let them experience nature. You'd want them to interact with other children, learn new things, and get fresh air. But when we don't give ourselves the same experience as adults, we fall into a routine that stifles our growth. It's easy to get stuck in your own bubble, the comfort of your home and your blanket, your work routine, and even the digital world. While it's great to have your safe space at home, spending too much time alone can make you feel disconnected from the real world, can lead to feelings of isolation, depression, anxiety. I mean, just look at what happened in 2020. It's like being in a bubble that feels safe, but over time, it becomes suffocating. The longer that you stay in that bubble, the harder it becomes to break free and re-engage with the world around you. Now, I know it's not always easy to break free from a cycle. For a long time, I thought I could be productive and do everything myself without interacting with others. But the more isolated I started to feel, the less energized and motivated I became. It wasn't until I started pushing myself to step outside, to step out of my comfort zone, even just a little bit, then I began to feel alive again. Whether it was meeting a friend for coffee, taking a walk in the park, or joining an event, those little moments of connection and fresh air brought clarity, peace, and even inspiration. Spending time outdoors and socializing isn't just good for your mental health, it's essential. Nature especially has a profound effect on our well-being. Studies show that spending time out in nature can reduce stress, improve concentration, and even boost creativity. So when you get outside, your mind gets a break from the daily noise and you become more attuned to the present moment. This kind of mental reset can spark creativity, fresh ideas, and new perspectives that you just can't get from staying indoors. So even if you're someone who loves to work from home, it's important to make conscious effort to step outside and experience the world, being nature, or a change of scenery. It can instantly recharge your energy and improve your mood, whether that is going for a hike, having lunch at the park, or simply stepping out to walk around the block. These small acts make a big difference in how you feel. The key is to give yourself permission to break free from the isolation. It doesn't mean you have to spend hours outside or socializing with a lot of people or go to extravagant outdoorsy events. It's about making small changes, stepping outside, taking a break from work, saying yes to a few invitations, or simply allowing yourself to enjoy life beyond your home. So let's talk about comparison. I think any good parent would try their hardest not to compare their child, because comparison can crush your self-confidence and create unnecessary competition. It puts others on a pedestal when the truth is no one should be placed above you. Instead, we should celebrate our own progress and be happy for others without feeling like we're not enough. Looking back at pictures of my younger self now, I see a beautiful child, someone I could never see at the time because I was too focused on the small features that I thought defined my worth. And as I grew older, it wasn't until I was in 7th grade that I started noticing that people thought I was attractive. I had never seen myself as beautiful, and it honestly felt strange when people started complimenting me. Comparison limits you. It makes you think that you're not enough, that you're not as good as others, or that you need to change something about yourself to be worthy. But that is not true. If I could go back in time and talk to my younger self, I would tell her how beautiful she truly was, how enough she was, just as how she was. When I became a parent, I have made it my mission to make sure that my child never feels like they have to compare themselves to others. I make sure to let her know that she is intelligent, beautiful, and loved exactly how she is. So if you're out there comparing yourself, please stop. Don't do that to yourself. You don't need to look like anyone else to be worthy. Your uniqueness is what makes you special. The real work comes in when we decide to stop comparing ourselves and start celebrating our own uniqueness. It's about letting go of that false narrative that society has placed on us and instead embracing who we truly are. Yes, we can be inspired by others, but inspiration is different from comparison. Inspiration leads us to growth, while comparison often leads us to self-doubt. So one way to stop comparing is by practicing self-affirmations. Begin each day by telling yourself something positive about who you are, not how you measure up to others. This helps shift the focus back to you, to your strengths rather than what you lack. A simple affirmation like "I am enough" can be a powerful reminder to reject the urge to compare. This is something that I've implemented with my own daughter, and I hope many more mothers are able to do this as well. Another step is to be mindful of the spaces you're consuming, both online and offline. Social media is often a breeding ground for comparison, and it's easy to get sucked in. You see the highlight reels of people's lives, but it's essential to remember that what you see online is only a small part of someone's reality. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlighted reel. The key is to limit exposure to content that makes you feel less than, and surround yourself with people and accounts that encourage you and inspire you. Real growth comes from embracing yourself fully. The flaws, the quirks, the strengths, and the weaknesses. Every part of you contributes to the incredible person that you are. And when you stop comparing and start embracing, that's when you really come to life. That's when you truly feel confident and proud of the unique journey that you are on. Now I want to dive into relationships, which is really important. Whether it's a romantic partner, a friend, or even a family member, you want to ask yourself, would you let your child be around the person that you are with right now? Would you want them to be friends with someone who treats them poorly, disrespects them, or drains their energy? If your answer is no, then it's time to take a hard look at that relationship that you're currently investing in. Relationships are a huge part of our personal growth and emotional well-being. But there comes a point when they cross the line to self-abuse. And if you find yourself thinking, I would never want my child to be friends with someone like this, then you know deep down that something is wrong. If you wouldn't want that for your child, why would you allow that for yourself? We often ignore red flags in relationships because we've become so accustomed to accepting less than we deserve. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of working things out or giving someone a chance. There's a fine line between giving someone a chance and tolerating behavior that harms your mental, emotional, and physical health. Many of us struggle in letting go because of fear of being alone or worry that we won't find another person or friend who will accept us. But staying in toxic relationships can actually be more isolating than being on your own. The key is to realizing that your value doesn't come from being in a relationship or having people around you. It comes from how you view and treat yourself. No relationship, whether it's a friend or romantic relationship or family connection, should come at the cost of your peace, your happiness, and your well-being. There comes a moment that you need to ask yourself the hard questions. Is this person helping me grow, or are they holding me back? Is this relationship empowering me, or is it draining my energy? How does this person make me feel? Do I feel valued, supported, and respected? Or do I feel depleted and disrespected? Would you allow your child to be in a relationship or a friendship that makes them feel bad about themselves, or that is toxic and draining? No, of course not. And yet often we tolerate this for ourselves. If you're constantly compromising your peace, constantly feeling drained, or you find yourself questioning your worth in a relationship, it's time to take a step back and assess whether that relationship is serving you in a healthy way. It's never too late to make the change. You don't have to wait until things get worse to recognize when something isn't right. Trust your intuition. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Listen to that inner voice that's telling you this isn't healthy. This isn't right for me. It's about respecting your own boundaries and recognizing that you deserve a relationship that uplifts you, not drains you. And boundaries are key. Establishing boundaries with others is one of the most loving things you can do for yourself. Boundaries help protect your energy, your emotions, and your peace. When you set and enforce boundaries in a relationship, you're showing others how to treat you, and you're also teaching yourself to respect your own needs. It's not just about cutting out every toxic person that comes across you. It's about making space for the right people. The more you remove negativity from your life, the more room you create for positivity, love, and support. Healthy relationships will not only support your growth, but will also challenge you in the best way possible. These are relationships where both parties can be themselves, support each other's dreams, and respect one another's space. When you prioritize the right relationships, you will feel more confident, grounded, and at peace. And I've learned the hard way that you don't have to settle for any relationship that doesn't nurture yourself. Life's too short to spend it with people who don't add value to your life, who don't see your worth, or who make you feel less than. Letting go of toxic relationships is an act of self-love, and it's one of the most powerful decisions that you can make for your well-being. The next thing I want to talk about is about standing up for yourself. Think about this. How would you stand up for your child? If someone was being rude to them or mistreating them, you would defend them, of course. You'd make sure that they knew their worth and that no one could take advantage of them. So why do we sometimes let others treat us the same way? And that's the thing. We often don't stand up for ourselves the way we would for our children or loved ones. If someone was bullying your child, you'd go to the principal's office, making sure that they understood that this type of behavior was not acceptable and do whatever it takes to protect them. So why aren't you doing the same thing for yourself? When you stand up for yourself, you are showing people where the boundaries are. You are showing them that they can't take advantage of you and disrespect you. Life, of course, will test you. People will push your limits, but when you let them go too far without stepping up, you're telling them that their behavior is okay. The moment that you start setting clear boundaries and enforcing them, people will think twice before disrespecting you again. If you let things slide too much in the past and now you feel like it's hard to establish boundaries, it's not too late. Start today. You can absolutely put your foot down. It's about action. Stop just talking about what you're going to do and start doing it. So for example, if someone is speaking disrespectfully to you, don't just tolerate it. You can walk away, or you can set the tone. This is the last time that you will talk to me like that. If they don't show remorse or change their behavior, then take action. Don't go back to that behavior. It's time to put action behind your words. And the thing is that people often think that standing up for themselves is them being angry, causing a scene, or being too confrontational. But it doesn't have to be that way. Standing up for yourself can be done with calmness and confidence. It's about being firm and assertive and confident without being aggressive. You don't need to shout or make a big fuss to make your point. Just speak clearly, set your boundaries, and leave when necessary.
But Mar, what if they don't respect your boundaries?
That's where the real test comes in. When someone continuously crosses your boundaries, they're showing you exactly how much they value you. The way people treat you is a reflection of how much respect they think you deserve. If you tolerate disrespect or allow them to cross a line, they might think it's okay to continue to do so. That's why it's important to stay consistent. Each time that you stand your ground, you reinforce that you're not someone to be taken advantage of. Don't be afraid of losing people who don't respect your boundaries. Most people stay in toxic relationships because of the fear of being alone, but staying in relationships or friendships that doesn't respect your worth will only hurt you in the long run. If someone can't respect your boundaries, then they're not the right person for you. True love and friendship comes from mutual respect. If they can't give that, then they're not worth your time. You are worthy of respect. And when you stand up for yourself, you teach people to treat you as such. Start small. If you're someone who hasn't really stood up for yourself, start with small, manageable steps. It can be as simple as like, no, I'm not comfortable with that, or please don't speak to me that way. These little acts of standing up for yourself add up over time and help build your confidence. Soon you'll find it easier to assert your boundaries and stand up for yourself in any situation. Now, this is probably one of my favorite ones and very powerful, and that is positive self-talk. The way you speak to yourself can have a huge impact on your self-confidence and your overall well-being. By speaking kindly to yourself, you signal to your brain that you are worthy of the kindness, respect, and love. And when you respect yourself, others most likely will respect you too. Now, going back to your child or your imaginary child, would you ever tell your child that they aren't good enough or that they're not worthy of nice things? Of course not. You tell them that they're amazing, smart, beautiful as they are. The same should go for you. You deserve to speak to yourself with the same kindness, encouragement, and love you'd give your own child. If you're struggling to speak kindly to yourself, you might also struggle to receive compliments or kindness from other people. A confident person can accept compliments with a simple thank you without dismissing or saying,
Oh no, I'm not that great.
If you can't take a compliment or you feel awkward when someone says something nice about you, it's a sign that your self-worth might might need some attention. We all want our children to be able to say thank you confidently when someone praises them, right? So why not teach yourself that? The same self-respect. Positive self-talk is crucial because it helps combat negative thoughts. Our brains are naturally wired to focus on the negative, but when we train our mind to believe something different, you can rewire your thoughts by practicing daily affirmations that remind you of your worth. For example, I used to say, God wants me to succeed. I believe that 100% as a child growing up, and honestly, I feel like my life has become a series of blessings. But it always wasn't like that. There was a time where I believed that everything around me was a sign of evil or bad luck. I literally manifested that negativity because that's where my focus was. And once I shifted my mindset, I started believing that the universe, God, the divine, the higher power protected me and that the universe wanted me to succeed. And my life began to reflect that. When you believe that good things are coming, you start to notice them more. I've noticed when I take care of myself, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, my life gets better. On the flip side, when I start neglecting my needs and focus only on others and pouring into other people's cups, life starts to feel off, stuck. It's like you have to fill your own cup first before you can pour into others. If you're constantly giving without taking care of yourself, you'll eventually burn out. So remember, take care of yourself and everything else will fall into place. Forgiveness is also another part of self-love. So imagine your child made a mistake. Would you hold that mistake over their head for the rest of their life? Would you constantly remind them of the past? Of course not. You'd want them to learn from it, understand why it's wrong, and then move forward. Why should you treat yourself differently? One powerful thing that I did recently was to put a picture of my younger self by my vanity. Whenever I start to feel hard on myself or pressured, I look at that picture. I see the innocence in my eyes and I think about how I would treat that child with love, care, and patience. It helps me pause and remember that whatever I'm doing for myself is also being done to my inner child. This simple practice has helped me make more compassionate decisions for myself. Remember, you are worthy of kindness, respect, and all the beautiful things life has to offer. Now, if you're looking to do much deeper work and reset any subconscious programming you may have picked up at a young age, I've created something truly special for you. That is my free Self-Improve with Effort and Intention ebook that you can grab down below. That is free and you can download it and read it instantly. I'm so excited for you to start your transformation. Take care of yourself, nurture your inner child, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!